we announce what?
Yes. So tonight I'm going to cover how to never run out of killer content. And I picked this mostly because it's something that I've been struggling with recently. My life has changed. My habits have changed because I'm pregnant now. And so I felt like I'm just kind of lost in what to share because it's not my normal me, and I've changed. So I was like, I bet other people, I struggle with this at other times as well when I'm like not feeling inspired. So, and I know that Christina kind of brought it up last week. So it kind of is a perfect extension into what Sindel shared last week. So before I start, Christy's gonna share a little bit of a snippet from the National Wake Up Call that was on Monday. Awesome call from Megan Eggleston. So if Christy could share a little bit about that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to share the takeaways. So in case you don't listen to the Monday morning wake up call, I never get on there on Mondays, but usually they're available on your podcast. Like if you have an iPhone, I know it's the podcast app. I'm not sure on Android, but it's free, and they usually have them within 24 hours. Sometimes it might not pop up if you're not refreshing. So, but it's a really good idea to listen to them every week. It's 20 minutes of top coaches giving like just awesome tips for us. And one of the walkaways that I had from Summit, one of the things I told the girls was that from now on, I'm just going to measure my success by every night when I go to bed. If I did everything that I could do that day in my business and I felt good about it, that's how I was going to measure my success. Well, Megan talked about that this week, about how to measure your success without measuring results. We all know that Success Club and rank and all of those things are stressful. It's stressful to maintain, and it's stressful to think about. And we start to measure ourselves and our worth based on our Success Club points or our rank. And she just really talked about trusting the process and just doing everything that you can do daily and leading with your heart. And just, again, we've talked about a million times, like knowing why you're doing it and doing your best, and those results will come, and that they're long-term. And she said, it's the same with our challengers. If they weigh themselves every day, they don't see the results that they see at the end of 21 days. So if you every single day say, God, I didn't get 2 Success Club points today, or I didn't get 4 Success Club points, you're not measuring the full month and what you're doing every single day. So listen to the call. I just wanted to share that with you. Those are the takeaways that, just believe in yourself, and you're here for a reason, and put that killer content out there. Kate's going to share that. And lead with your heart and be connecting. If you're doing your vital behaviors, it will come. But it's like anything else, it's a compound effect, and you have to be doing it on a regular basis. So that's it, and my doorbell's ringing.
It was an awesome call. I definitely recommend listening to it. It definitely like hit home to me, and I think it would hit home to probably everybody. So just take some time. You can fast forward through the whole beginning, so it's really only like 15-20 minutes, and it's well worth your time, just to put some positivity and some inspiration into your mind. And then Sindel is going to run over kind of the announcements of what's coming up quickly for the next few weeks.
Let me unmute myself. Yes, you guys, listen to the wake up calls. They're so important. I don't think any of us can reiterate that over and over again. I always find it amazing that these are such successful coaches and the stories. And sometimes I felt like, oh my gosh, all these people got huge success so quickly. Within a year, all of a sudden they were 5-star. And then they'll have people on there that are totally normal, where it took them 5 years to actually do something. A lot of them are moms and things like that. So they're totally relatable people to, I think, a lot of the people on our team and other things. So definitely listen to them. But like Kate said, I'm going to do some announcements for our team this week. We have some exciting things coming up, you guys. So who has hit Emerald? Can we get a show of hands? I know we got lots of Emeralds on this call, so that's awesome. We have an Emerald in a Day training starting Saturday, so the 27th. Definitely write these down on the calendar. It's a fun training, you guys. It is $10 to jump into this training, and then whoever advances to Emerald by next week, Thursday, you get a portion of the pot. So if we have 10 people in and only 2 of those people actually advance to Emerald, you get $50. So it's a pretty good investment. We are going to open this up not just to our team, it's going to be to other our like sister teams. So usually we have a pretty good turnout with these. And then we post information like every hour is going to be like going nonstop starting Saturday. And so every hour Saturday, and then you will have until Thursday to advance rank. Now, keep in mind, we call this Emerald in a Day training, but this is actually for all ranks. This isn't just for our Emerald or for those that are trying to get to Emerald. These are also for anything above that. If you get 2 people into your downline, into your team, you also qualify to be part of that cash pot. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, awesome. The other thing we have coming up next week, we're going to do a quick little team call, you guys. So we're going to jump on here just like we do every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, do a quick little kind of power hour, 15-minute team call, and then we are jumping right over into our sneak peek. So this is sneak peek to coaching. We will get an event up. You guys are welcome to invite directly to that event. And basically, we are just going to be posting everything for it usually runs about an hour long. We'll do a live event, so live videos. If you guys want to partake in it or you want to really show yourself as a leader, because we have so many leaders on this team, we want you to partake. And if we have a ton that are like, I so want to do this, and we don't have enough posts, either we're going to put more posts in or we'll open up a second sneak peek to it. So that's going to be the 30th. That'll start at 8:15, runs till about 9:15. Usually it's about an hour long. And then we just answer people's questions. And it's really a great way, you guys, to show what we do as coaches in a really, I don't want to say passive, but in a very relaxed way. So people can jump on, people can see this, we do them publicly. So oftentimes, like even the people that we invite, since it's public, there's going to be people that are your friends that they'll see that you're on, you're doing a live video, and they're going to jump on. So you actually get a bigger audience than you even think right from the beginning. So that's pretty cool. We have those 2 things coming up within the next week. Then the following week, I want you guys to kind of think ahead until to the next week. We are going to be starting our next, the basics, the coach challenge group, similar to if you guys have been in their challenge group that we ran. It just ended, I guess, this Sunday. We're going to be starting that again on the 5th. So any new coaches, we would like to get you guys jumped into that, get you plugged in. So that's going to be going on the 5th. So keep that in mind, guys, as you're recruiting coaches, that you're going to want to put them in that and let them know, hey, we have this training coming up. We'll also mention it in our sneak peek because I think sometimes it's nice having those kind of coordinate right back to back so we can actually put people into an educated, group right away. So that's going to be starting then. Is there anything else in this? Those are kind of the big things that are happening.
Just the Country Heat Challenge.
So yes, our Country Heat Challenge. I was like, I know there's one more thing I wanted to mention. So that's going to be starting the 29th. So who is planning on coaching or having a group for the Country Heat Challenge? Yes? Good. Awesome. If you are not planning on coaching, you should definitely be in a challenge. So the Country Heat is going to be starting the 29th for prep week. So that'll be that following Monday. So it'll be the 5th will be our actual start date for the 3-week challenge. So in addition to that, you guys, this is going on the health bet. So do you guys know what the health bet is? Everybody's pretty familiar with this already. Beachbody is doing $1 million to, it's truly a health bet. Like whoever completes the challenge gets in on the drawing or gets in on the cash pot of $1 million. For every challenge pack sold throughout the month of August, they're putting $5 additional in for every challenge pack sold. They will go up to $3 million. So when you're talking to your challengers, you're talking to them about getting into the Country Heat, whether it's the Country Heat program or any of the other ones, tell them, hey, we should really get you involved with this health bet. So for that reason, I know a lot of us run our challenge groups off Facebook, which I personally love doing it that way. It's really simple and easy, but the way that they're tracking the health bet is going to be going off of the My Challenge Tracker. So if you do not have the My Challenge Tracker app downloaded on your phone yet, please do that. Get your account set up on there, get everything set up, and that's where we're going to be running our challenge groups through the month of September. And if you guys love it and you're like, wow, this is awesome, you can keep doing it. There's lots of people that will just use the My Challenge tracker. I did it for probably 3 months in a row. I really liked it. They were still, I would say it was pretty new at that point. I know they're really adding a few more things in, kind of getting some of the glitches figured out. I didn't feel like I had as much interaction, but I know that's going to improve. They're definitely making it more so it's almost like a Facebook stream, kind of. So it's going to become more interactive. You just kind of have to give it time. So definitely think about September. Also, keep in mind, these are not going to be 3-week challenges because the health bet is over 4 weeks. Your challengers are going to have 3 workouts, 5 Shakeologies logged per week during those 4 weeks through September. So go September and then right into the beginning of October. So with that, we're making these 30-day challenges, you guys. At least that's what we're running for the teams, or the groups that I've been doing so far. So before you're telling your challengers that, because I know sometimes that extra week, it kind of can be a little tedious, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just 1 more week. But to be in on a cash pot of $1 million+, I mean, it's a win-win no matter what. So do we have questions on those at all?
Cinda, I have a question.
What a question.
Yeah. Kendra, did you say you have a question?
I do. As for coaching wise, is it hard to get that set up? I know I was in one of your challenges with it, but I haven't tried getting it set up on the coach side.
No, it's really not. You just go, so you're going to want to set it up through the actual, like jump on your desktop and set it up.
Okay.
You're just going to go to My Challenge Tracker portal. Is that right, ladies? Is it My Challenge Tracker portal.com?
A YouTube video that gives you like the full instructions of what to do.
Okay.
As soon as you open it up, there's that YouTube video. There's like a YouTube video for your coaches, and then there's a YouTube video actually for your challengers. And I know what we've done in the past is take that link for the ones for the challengers, and that can be your first post within that, your actual challenge group. That way they can get familiar with the app, because it's not hard to run, but the buttons are just a little different. So it's nice for them to have kind of a guided, they'll walk through right away is the first thing that they see when they actually get into the app. Another thing that they had changed since we had been running in the past was you had to send people a link so they could actually get access. They no longer need that. What they're going to need to do, though, is to have their account registered. So whatever email they use for their Team Beachbody account, that is the one that you're going to plug in. So when you're adding your challengers to your group, you just plug in their email address, and it's very simple. It's going to automatically pull them up. So then when they log into their app with that email address, it'll show that they've been invited to this challenge group right away. So it's very, very simple. It really is not complicated at all. You just kind of have to jump in and play. Another cool thing with the app, you guys, is everybody fans of Hootsuite here? I am so a fan of Hootsuite. You know, when you're in your challenges and you want to be posting at 6 a.m. or making sure you're getting your check-ins done at a certain time, the app, you can actually pre-post everything that you want, just like you would do with Hootsuite. Another thing that they've changed since I ran these was that now you can have multiple coaches. So we will actually be able to like do multiple coaches like within the group, because before it was really confusing. Like it was like there was one coach or specific coach. I don't know. It was just confusing. So we'll just have to make sure that we're breaking these up into our teams like we normally do, and then just host as we normally do it, and just make sure everybody's in the right groups for this. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box. I'm going to get started because I want people to be able to log off when they're ready, and then we'll have time for questions at the end as well. So if you want to pop on afterwards or stay on, if you have any other additional questions, write them down and we'll answer those after. Okay, so we'll get started. Thank you so much, Sindel and Christy. You explained those way better than I would have. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If everybody could put themselves on mute, that'd be awesome. Let's see. Okay. So tonight's topic is obviously how to never run out of killer content. And I think that's something that we sometimes struggle with as coaches, and just trying to share and add value into people's lives. And one thing, if you guys have ever attended a summit, or if you haven't been to Summit, maybe it's attending a concert, or maybe it's you have been watching the Olympics. And I don't know about you, but like I get that feeling of, oh my gosh, I wish I was that person. I just want to be them. Like to be, I don't want to be a guy, but to be Michael Phelps, like, oh, it's so awesome. Like what a cool life. Or when you're working out with the personal trainers at Summit or at Platinum Edge, and you just get this like energy and this feeling, and you just get on this high of like, oh, I want to be like them. I want to do what they do. Or you're at a concert and they're singing. It's that same feeling where you get that high of wanting to be what that person is. And it's kind of euphoric, really. And the thing with coaching is that you have the power to give people that feeling. And you don't have to be an expert in fitness. You don't have to be an expert in nutrition. But you can give people that feeling that you have post-workout. When you feel like, man, I really did something for myself today. Or you stuck to your meal plan. You know how good it feels when you do the 21-day fix and you stick to the containers? Like it feels so good. And you want people to have that feeling. That's what we want to do as coaches. And to do that, you have to be authentic. You don't have to be an expert. But you have to think of sharing on social media as basically your diary, your life, the things you struggle with. And think of it more as just being authentic, and giving people that energy and excitement is what's going to make them want to commit to a fitness program. Maybe it's going to make them want to become a coach and inspire others. So you have the power to give people that feeling. And I think ultimately as coaches, just like the call, the National Wake Up Call, which Christy shared about, we sometimes, as in the world of coaching, behind the scenes, it's Success Club points or a rank. And ultimately what we do is we want to inspire people to live healthier lives and to feel the way that you feel. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you committed to a workout program. There's a reason why you feel good, and you want to share that with others. And that's what you have the power to do. You have the power to do that, which is awesome. So don't ever lose that thought. So be authentic and give, the goal is to give people that passion and that energy to do what you're doing. So, before I go into that, I want to just quickly touch on, and I didn't include this in the slides, but it's so important when you're thinking about posting, what are your short-term goals? So that's why it's important, like Sindel shared, what's upcoming? We have a sneak peek coming up. Our challenge groups just started, so you're probably, we do have another one that's starting, so you probably want to be posting about challenge groups. You don't want to be late to the game. You don't want your first post about a challenge group to be the day that it started. So you have to make sure that you're looking at the calendar. So use that team calendar that we post on the team page to know what's upcoming, so you're ahead of the game. You don't want to be late. So make sure that you know what your short-term goals are when you're posting, especially if it's a business-related post. And I know this may get annoying if you've been on our calls before. And I put 3 because I always think 3, but it's actually the 4 vital behaviors now because they updated it. But it all comes down to the 4 vital behaviors. And I don't care. I hope people continue to pound that into me because it reminds me how simple this is and how important the 4 vital behaviors are. When you are doing the 4 vital behaviors, that creates motion within your social media content. So number 1, inviting. So how can you share on social media? You're having new conversations with people. You're meeting new people from new places. What are you learning from them? How can you share that in your social media feed as a post? Being honest and raw and authentic. Getting off of a a phone call with someone that you know, and maybe it's a new coach and you're so excited she taught you something that, you know, about her life that just totally inspired you. These are things that you can share on social media as far as inviting. Being proof that the product works. So each day, right, you get that euphoric feeling from working out, sharing that. You know, maybe you're now able to do a pull-up. I still can't do a pull-up. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do a pull-up. But those things that are like new that you're able to do, new results that you get, areas of improvement, new highs, you know, things that are changing because you're being proof that the products work. And that's why these are so important, because if you're not doing these, it's so hard to share. And you know, you want to be doing these because that's what inspires people. And then growing, so personal development. What new breakthroughs are you learning? Like, how has your mindset changed because of a book that you read? You know, I always turn to personal development, especially when I'm like not inspired and I'm like, something's wrong. I'm not spending enough time in personal development. You know, what new skills or strategies? Maybe you are sharing about something social media related that you now are awesome at. You know, taking photos was something that you were terrible at and now you're good at it. You know, it can be anything. And then number 4, recognize. So awesome, new testimonies. You know, you get a message from somebody that shares like how awesome they're feeling during this challenge group. Or maybe it's their before and after photos and you've gotten their permission to share them. You know, sharing those on your social media feed. Maybe it's the new support system that you found within your team, within your challenge groups, or just a new sense of positivity because you're focusing on supporting and uplifting other people by recognizing them. So those 4 vital behaviors is what it all deeply comes down to. But sometimes it's still hard to be inspired, right? So I want you to, each day, I mean, you're probably not going to do this each day. I totally get that. But questions to ask yourself. I mean, when you are not sure what to post about, remember this all comes back to writing as if you're sharing a snippet in your diary, which sometimes can be scary, right? Things that you may not want to share. But it all comes down to being okay with the fact that you may not get a lot of likes, you may not get a lot of comments or shares, not caring one bit, but remembering that it might help one person. So you can ask yourselves these questions like, what am I struggling with today? So maybe it's the 21-day fix containers. You look at them and you're like, you guys, these containers look so incredibly small. I mean, didn't you guys feel that way when you first opened them up and you're like, am I supposed to eat this much food? But realizing that you get more, you know, and it's being honest about that. Or maybe you were inspired by another coach who shared that they had an awesome transformation today. And that just made you want to push harder because you're surrounding yourself with uplifting people. So go back to your day and be honest about it. Like, what was your biggest excuse today? You know, and how are you going to conquer that excuse? And then what does success look like to you? And how did the old you think? Like, some of these questions will help you pull out like what you can really share that is actually worth sharing. You don't want to just throw something up and just be like, and I do this and I have done it and I'm using this as my personal development, but like, you throw up an image and I put #truth. You know, like sometimes that will work, but is that adding value to somebody? So you really have to think that, and you're sharing part of your diary. Okay, so what makes a good caption? So when you're actually sharing, like I said, sharing #truth, that's short and sweet, right? But you can kind of come up with something a little bit better than this. And it doesn't have to be something you created. So for instance, diamonds were a girl's best friend, and then the yoga pants happened, right? And you could have a cute photo of yoga pants, you in yoga pants, or something fun. These are so easy to find on t-shirts, on Pinterest, like anywhere. Those are short and sweet one-liners you can post with a awesome photo, and it's going to get traction because it's fun, it's funny, it's genuine, it's real, it makes people laugh a little bit. Negative wording. And this one, so this was shared, this content was shared with me in a presentation, and I kind of was like, but it's true. It grabs your attention. So the word never, I never thought I would feel comfortable in my own skin, right? These are things that you want to start your post with because you want to grab the attention of the person that is viewing it, right? Or going through. They only get a moment when they're scrolling the feed, and they're going to decide whether they're going to read your post or not. So you want to start out with something that really pulls at the heartstrings, makes somebody laugh, grabs their attention. So another negative wording would be like, my biggest mistake was, things like that. So another one would be talking numbers. So these are 5 steps to stay organized. These are my 3 favorite tips to not eat late at night. Use the numbers. Use emotional power words. So power words like the word destroying. I was destroying my body until I discovered a secret. And on the next page of the slides, 2 slides, and I'll share these, are a ton of power words that you can use so that you're kind of giving that punch into your statement, right? Destroying, it seems kind of extreme, but it goes, and it goes well into this because really destroying your body until you discovered whatever the secret was. So it's using those words that pull and that kind of get people's emotions going. And then asking a question. So starting out asking a question. Have you ever felt like you had no control over your own life? So these are just a few ways to get your content or your captions started. Remember, you don't have to write a book, and I highly encourage you not to unless it's, unless you've been coaching for a while, especially if you're a new coach. It takes a lot of commitment from a viewer or your audience to read a huge paragraph. And I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people that unless it pulls me in right away and I know this person and I've been following them for a while, I read a little bit and then I'm done. So make sure that you're getting that punch in right away, and it doesn't have to be long. It can be short and sweet and easy to share. And here's the power words. This was just from another copywriter. I'll keep these in the slides, but it's just examples of words that kind of grab people's emotions. And another thing with that that I suggest doing is getting your audience to engage. So, and I think it was Christy or Sindel who touched on this last week by asking a question. So, have you ever felt like what was that question? Have you ever felt like you had no control over your life? That's obviously a rhetorical question, right? So you want to also incorporate questions, and you can put them in all caps, that gets participation and gets people to comment on that, because you want people to engage with you, not just because of affinity, which, yay, that's awesome. You want it in more news feeds, but because you want to connect with your audience. You want to grow closer to them. This is a relationship that you're building. And sometimes it may not feel like that because it sometimes feels one-sided, right? You're sharing all of this and you may not feel like you're getting much back because you're not. You're sharing your diary. But people are connected to you way more than you think. And it's amazing when you get that message from somebody that's never liked, never commented, and they're like, man, you totally inspired me with this post. And I'm like, man, I didn't even know you were following me. So you have to remember there are people that are watching. So you want to try to engage them. You want to start that conversation, and you want to let them know that you care about them. So asking questions where it's maybe something, this is totally off the top of my head, what tricks do you use so that you don't, eat late at night, or put your hand in the cookie jar late at night. Ask for feedback from your audience as well, because that's going to help with engagement so you can grow your audience. So this is a little smartphone toolbox. These are a few of the things that I use, and I think the best ones that I found, obviously there's tons of other apps out there, right? But you want to find out and determine which apps are your go-tos, because it's going to be quick, you use them, you're consistent, it's easy, right? So burst mode, this is where you can set up your phone. You can tell it like how often you want it to take a picture. So you can do like your own little photo shoot and do pose, 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 and it takes it like every few seconds or whatever you set it up to be. So you don't have to continue to go back and forth and hit the 10-second timer. So that's an awesome way to get some photos in. And a tip for that is, and I don't know if we've shared this, but when I first started coaching, I don't do this that often, but for some people it really works. You take one day, take a Sunday, grab a few workout clothes, make your face look a little bit nice, put your hair up, change your outfits, and do different poses so that you have all of your photos for the week, right? That just saves some time. So you could do a little photo shoot at the beginning of the week so that you have everything. Because I struggle with like selfie, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'll go back at my news feed and I'm like, selfie, boring, that's how I feel. But that might help you. It's definitely something I need to probably do a little bit more of. But that could help with the burst mode. Word swag, that helps you put images or words on images. Another awesome one. This one I know Cinda loves, and I use it a little bit, but I'm more word swag, is Rana Designs. iMovie is great. It's super easy on your phone for making videos or cutting videos. Touch Blur. This one I really like. So if you have a photo that you took and like even like look at my background, I'm like, oh, this isn't like a pretty background, but I've got a great photo. I would take that touch blur and you can blur the backgrounds. I love that. Just makes your photos kind of stand out a little bit more in the newsfeed. Google Drive, I'll talk a little bit more about that. That's where our team, so we have a team Dropbox. It's going to be moving all over to Google Drive soon. It's kind of a process. But Google Drive is really, really, really important. That's where we have all of our full challenge scripts right now. And this is also going to be where you're going to save some of your ideas, which I'll share in a little bit. And then Pinterest. So if you're not on Pinterest and you're like hesitating, this is an awesome place, and I'll be sharing a little bit more in a second. Okay, where to find ideas on what to post on. So if you haven't heard of BuzzFeed, which is totally okay because I'm one of those people that hadn't, I did a few years ago. And I'm not one of those people that like goes to it all the time. But BuzzFeed is a great place. It tells you what is trending. What are people talking about? These are the big things happening right now. So it's a great place to go so you're not like the last to find out. You can share trending content. Now, I said share, but I do not mean share the link. Do not share a link to an article. Not because it's not a good idea and the content isn't good, but because Facebook doesn't like that. Facebook doesn't like it when you share a link to an external article that's going to take them off of their website. So automatically it's going to go down in your affinity. Also, you should just reference it because people want to know your opinion. They want to hear how that personally, why you picked that article, or, I wouldn't like write out like, check this article out, or I read this article, but you want to just talk about maybe something that you learned in it. So you're adding value in a different way, if that makes sense. So you could give your opinion on something. So like 21 thoughts about life that hit you while watching the Olympics. Like I didn't read this one, but I can guarantee one of those was like, I told Brennan multiple times, I was like, man, how could I become an Olympian before I die? Like, what sport could I do? That was a conversation I legitimately had at home with him. So, that could be something that I could talk about on social media. Like, why did I have that feeling? Why did I feel like I needed to be an Olympian or something along those lines? But these spur content ideas in you. 11 smart tricks to help you eat healthy without even trying. Here's what healthy people actually snack on. Is that what you actually snack on? Do people actually snack on this? 13 memorable moments every mom will recognize. So this is just a great way to curate your own content from this. So you don't have to share exactly what they wrote, but you can pull bits and pieces from it. And it's trending content. Another tip is just to save one-liners for photo captions, short and sweet posts, or wording on your photos. So it's just a great idea to spur kind of some thoughts on trending content. Okay, the next is Pinterest. This is what I use all the time. This is where I find ideas. This is where I find photos that I like, poses that I like. So what you want to do is you go to Pinterest, and it's awesome if you have it on your phone. And it's great because like sometimes you need that like relief of going through Pinterest, but then you can be like, oh, I'm doing work at the same time. And you create secret boards. So ones that people don't see, make sure that it's secret. And then you can reference these when you're getting ready to do that photo shoot, or you're taking a picture post workout and you need some kind of different pose. And the ones that I suggest are photos that I love, so poses. So you go through and you're like, oh, this is a great photo. I don't want to copy this, but it kind of inspires you on a pose that you could do, or a photo that you could do on your posts. Challenge group ideas. So things that you could share in your challenge group. Maybe it's even, an idea for a free group. So like there's those mason jar salad recipe challenge groups. So things that you could use in your challenge groups, or even just great topics for your challenge groups. Pins to model. So this is basically like things that you could share. So like, look at this, don't stop. It's a before and after. And I've done this one. But you have your next challenger that gets awesome results. Like this would be an awesome post to share. Like it just inspires you. I wouldn't have thought of this if I didn't see Pinterest. And other things, like it looks like recipes, and even just a way to, put your meal together that makes it look nice. So things that you can kind of make yours and post about. So then free group ideas, that's another post or another secret board that you could create and go through and just, that'd be like the mason jar. So that would be more of the free groups. Blog post content, great topics. Even if it's not blog post content, if you don't have a blog, that's perfectly fine. But you could still share, like, here's 3 ways to go to bed earlier or get up earlier. It can be short and sweet content, but you're just curating it, making it your own. Don't copy, make it your own and use your tips, but this can inspire you. And then clean recipes. So maybe a recipe you want to try that week. Maybe it's a recipes that you want to share with your challenge groups, anything along those lines. And again, like, you don't have to be the author or the inventor. You just need to be inspired by it and curate your own content. So don't copy. I'm sure you all know that that's illegal, but make it your own. You can definitely do that. And then here's a weekly post structure. And I'm going to quickly go through the rest, and then we can ask questions. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you're really looking for inspiration, relive the month Monday. So moment in time Monday. So maybe it's something that happened last month and you want to share about it. You had awesome photos done. Maybe you did professional photos that week and you want to share a post from that, or you had an awesome family vacation. You can go back to the past and share those things. Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday. I mean, you've probably heard of that. Could be a challenger, could be you. Doesn't have to be physical. what I'm doing now with the hashtag WIDN. So this is a great way to also maybe do this in your challenge group. We did one that was like strike a pose. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was strike a pose. And then everybody, it was awesome. You tagged people and everybody struck a pose wherever they were at. And it was fun and it got people excited. And that's similar to what I'm doing right now. So maybe it's your mom and you're just trying to wrangle your kids, or you're at work and you're going to a meeting and you're trying to fit in a healthy lunch. Thursday, Throwback Thursday, that could be another, you've all heard of Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday, or Feature Friday. Maybe you want to feature somebody from your challenge group, feature a coach on your team, feature somebody you love. It doesn't have to be anything Beachbody related. If you need help, I'm sure you've all seen these challenges, photo challenges of the day. Go to Pinterest, search photo challenge of the day. I added ideas here. And it just inspires you. These are also great to do in the groups. We've added these to our team challenges where every day there's a hashtag with a photo of the day. You guys, I cannot even explain. I think it was Erica and Christy who came up with this idea. Awesome. But it gives people a direction of what to post about. You can do this too for your pages. If you need direction or some inspiration, do the photo challenge of the day. And then this is kind of the last piece that I wanted to talk about was using Google Drive. So on your phone, have a private folder. We share a lot of stuff on here. Most of them are private when you set them up. But create folders so then when you're on your phone or on your computer, you can save things to them. And this is where you can go when you need some inspiration and you need something to post about. Excuse me, I need some water. So maybe the first one could be lessons learned. Sometimes you're inspired and you're like, man, I really discovered this about myself, or I really learned this today. Save it in this drive because I can guarantee you're going to forget about it the next time you need something to post about. Quotes, if you see a great quote online or you see a great quote that somebody else maybe shared, take a screenshot, save it to this folder. It can inspire you in the future. Any stories that you might have. So maybe you're talking with friends or other coaches and you had an awesome story that you're talking about. It's so funny, once you get into this, I'm always like, man, that'd be a great post idea. Man, that'd be a great post idea. And then I completely forget. But you kind of got to think about your life as a diary, or your posting as a diary. And then you're going to get tons of ideas. And then testimonies. So there's so many testimonies that I missed out on when I first started coaching because I didn't save what they sent to me. And this is a great place to save and reuse. So you can post this multiple times. You can post testimonies multiple times. You can post your stories multiple times. If it's something that generates traction, then share it again. Not like the next day, but in a few months, maybe in 6 months. So save all of those there. Take a screenshot, just put it in there, and then you have it when you need it. Because most great ideas come when you're not expecting them, or you're in the shower, which unfortunately, unless I think it's the same as the phone, it will get wet and it'll be ruined. So anyways, the long term as a coach, I think we focus on every day, right? But long term, you want to be the person that you needed every single day. You want to be the person that they go to your page and they're inspired and people want to be like you. They've learned from you. They want to cross over whatever hurdle that maybe you've crossed over, and they want to get to the point of being where you're at. And so it's so important that you're sharing those personal pieces of your diary to people. And I'm not saying pour out in oh my gosh, my boyfriend dumped me, that kind of stuff. That's sad and anything like that. It should be uplifting in the end. So if you have something bad that happens, you always want to share the positive and see the light at the end of the tunnel with that, because you want to be that positive person who's going to help people get through that. So anyways, I hope those tips help. It is 9:48. By the time we started, I think we're close to 35 minutes. But if anyone needs to hop off, go for it. And I won't be offended. No, none of us will. I totally get it. But I do want to stay on for questions. And I'm going to stop the recording